everybody. We're back here with Ted Rubin. We're actually at the Big Fuel offices. Thank you so much, Big Fuel, for letting us hang out in your space for a little while so we can record these videos. And we're talking today about those mean companies that say, listen, we're social, progressive, or we're looking at being a social company, but they don't allow their employees to participate in social. They kind of like shut them down. They prevent them going from Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and wherever else. I mean, I don't know about you, but that to me is a crime.
You know, I think that mean and a crime are probably, I think it's more of they're hurting themselves. So I don't think it's about them being mean. I think it's about them being foolish, short-sighted. Mm-hmm. You can't do social with employee censorship. You just can't do it. Yeah. And you'll never be a social company. So, and it's very clear and it's very obvious. Mm-hmm. And if they think that they can control it that way, then it shows you right there, that word control. Yeah. They're not getting the thing, because they're forgetting about iPads and iPhones and all smartphones. And these people, you know what, and all you're doing is pushing them to do it in another way.
Absolutely.
So if I have to go hide or have my second screen or my alternative screen to do that stuff, and then I can't possibly be as efficient.
Yeah. I mean, enough for nothing, but you also build this type of resentment in your employee too. I mean, here you are working for company ABC, saying you're social, saying you're out there on Twitter and you're promoting your brand and promoting other products, but yet you don't let your employees benefit, or the employees share in that mode as well.
You're also all true, and you're also losing out on one of the most powerful advocacy forces you have. Your employees. I mean, it goes in another couple of the directions here. Number one is, if your employees are not your best advocates, that's a problem. That means there's something wrong with the thing. And then the other thing is, if you don't trust your employees, then guess what? You have the wrong employees. And you've got to figure out either how to bring in the people that you can trust, or how to let yourself trust the people you should be trusting. And even if you can't, they're just going to do it elsewhere. You know, the minute they walk out, they're going to go out for their cigarettes. They're going to go to the bathroom. They're going to,
go to Starbucks.
They're going to go to Starbucks. They're going to go home at night. They're going to be at home on the weekends. And why not empower these people?
Now, but what's the strategy? I know a lot of companies, and you know this better than anybody else, a lot of companies are just scared to allow their employees to go online at work. Why? Because either they'll speak badly about the company, or about their boss, or about their day, or they'll spend the entire day on Facebook and not have lost productivity. What is a strategy that companies should try to adopt?
Well, first of all, again, if employees don't want to work, they're going to find ways
not to work.
You know, as far as lack of productivity, that's kind of a joke, because if it's not that, they'll find something else to do. So
coffee breaks, cigarette breaks, right? Yeah.
Just staring off into the stratosphere, reading a book. I mean, there's a million ways to waste time. You don't have to use social networks. As far as being afraid of what they're going to say, guess what? They're saying it anyway. So there's a lot of things companies can do. They can have a very deep social policy. They can take the time, just like they train employees about how to properly behave in the workplace, about how to work with their fellow employees, about staying healthier so that they save money in their health benefits. You know, all these things have been evolving over the last 30 to 40 years. That companies are realizing that it is their job, not necessarily because they're Big Brother and they need to make you healthier, but if you're healthier, it's gonna save them money in their health benefits. If you're better at your job, if you're more skilled, then you're going to be more valuable to them. The same thing goes with social. If they take the time to train people, to talk about what you're allowed to say about the company and what you're not allowed to say, and then, of course, people say, well, with all the training in the world, things are still going to happen. That's right. They are. And you know what? That makes it authentic. That makes it real. And when those things happen, you deal with them when they happen. Most of them are things that if they just get ignored, they go away. I mean, to me, that whole blow up in Detroit with Chrysler and the employee tweeting out for the wrong handle, who cares? So the guy said something nasty about Detroit drivers. I mean, if they had just let it go away, it would have died its own death, but they made a big deal out of it. They brought life to it themselves. Right. So I just think that companies have to realize that the stuff is not going away. It's going to get easier and easier, and if they try to control it, they're shooting themselves in the foot. But more importantly, that's the negative side. The positive side is they're not empowering their people and giving tools to the most powerful marketing force they have, their employees.
I'm not even thinking about external. I'm almost thinking about more internal. Like, for example, Yammer was bought by Microsoft.
Right.
I mean, this is a great tool. This is Twitter for the corporate environment. And what if allowing just employees to actually utilize a medium like that so they can quickly communicate with each other about products, projects, whatever the case is internally?
Well,
I think that's very, very powerful.
It is, but I think it's a different topic. I don't think because that doesn't have outside access. It's not about allowing your people to use social. It's just creating an internal social environment.
But it's still using a social technology and philosophy to continuously, so your employees can actually talk to each other and push forward whatever they want to, whatever they're working on.
Right. I think that's an internal decision just based on how you do communications within your company. I don't think that's as much of a philosophical question as it is about allowing people access to the networks while they're at work for whatever reasons that is, and not properly training them, not creating an environment where it empowers them.
Right.
To me, that's really where the loss comes in. And
Do you think maybe depending on clout, like certain people should have access to online and certain people should not?
No, I definitely not.
Okay. It's all or nothing. You either give everybody access or you give nobody access, which is so bad.
Well, I'm sure in a lot of these companies, senior executives have access to anything they want, but there's always that differentiation. But I think that as far as talking about it for the whole, yes, it should be all or none. And again, people know that they're under a microscope. People know that they're being paid attention to. There are tools to do that with. You're going to know what these people are saying. If there's something being said that's improper, but again, train them, talk to them, empower them, make them feel good about the company they work for, then they're going to be your best advocates. And there's a marketing force that you are losing out on if you don't encourage them to be a part of that conversation.
I agree. So if you're a company out there and you're stopping your employees from going online because you're fearful, I think you're doing a massive disservice to yourself and to your employees.
Yes, I agree.
All right, Ted.
Nice to see you. Have a great day. Thanks, Ray.
Thank you.